Greetings everyone, and welcome to this week's ML and AI safety update. So this weekend I was attending a large hackathon at the LEGO headquarters here in Copenhagen, which you can call market research for alignment jams, but it resulted in a couple of days delay on this newsletter. I'm sorry for that. Let's jump right into the content. This week we're looking at modern large models and how we can align them, and we're also checking out some of the criticisms of the extreme AI risk arguments. Of course, stay until the end for amazing opportunities within the ML safety space. So, an important task for our work in making future machine learning systems safe is to understand how we can measure and monitor these large models' safety. And the past week has seen a couple of interesting examples of work that helps us in this direction, besides last week's wonderful inverse scaling examples. So, one paper, for example, explores the perspective that large language models are implicitly topic models. They find a method to increase performance by 12.5% compared to a random prompt by thinking about the hidden concepts that large language models learn. And of course, this helps us align and understand what these larger models do. And Adam Shirley's expands on what inner misalignment looks like with the simulator perspective of large language models. So inner misalignment is when our system seems to be doing the right thing that we want it to do, but it is actually doing some malicious computation in the background. Or within its brain, or what you might call it. The simulator perspective sees large language models as simulating different characters and scenarios when we interact with it. And Shirley discusses some of the ways these models have a different kind of inner misalignment to other models that we hypothesize that machine learning looks like today. And another paper finds and investigates 491 different computer vision algorithms and finds that being aligned with human representation is generally a really good idea, and that it's predictive of higher robustness to malicious attacks, and that they generalize better, which is really important for alignment in general, if we can expand the alignment of a system beyond just its training set. And these are but a few good examples of work that investigates how we can scale our alignment understanding to larger systems. Of course, you can join us next weekend and join a bunch of excited and interested people across the world who will be working on the Scale Oversight Hackathon. So that will actually happen this next weekend now, and you're very welcome to join, both online or at some of our locations. So this week we also shift our focus a bit from the technical perspective and into a thought-provoking article by Nuno Sempere. So the piece addresses some alarmist views regarding the imminent dangers of artificial general intelligence, where Sempere basically critiques the notion of a severe short-term risk from AGI, so artificial general intelligence. And these are examples of risk estimates that are like 80% chance of human extinction by 2070. And he states that these claims are generally based on flawed reasoning and imperfect concepts. He also highlights the lack of proper representation of the cumulative evidence against such extreme risks. So right now we have a bunch of people who are touting the facts behind the extreme risks, but we don't have a cumulative body of evidence against this view. And on the topic, in this week's ML Street Talk podcast, renowned philosopher Luciano Floridi made an appearance. So Floridi recently published an article expressing his distrust of both those who believe in a rapid intelligence explosion, but also the people who neglect the risks of AI. And he stresses the importance of preserving human dignity in creating AI, and argues that the concept of AI having agency or sentience or being able to think is not actually super relevant to the conversation about risk, something that several people in the original AI safety space might disagree with. Of course, there are still risks from AI, especially in the longer term, and we recommend that you read Elijah Yudkowsky's list of ways AGI can go wrong. And here he mentions, for example, some aspects that we need 100% safe solutions, which is near impossible, and we cannot just train AI on good actions, because some difficulties arise there, and that current efforts are not attacking the right directions. And in other research news, Neil Nanda has released his quick start guide for mechanistic interpretability that he actually wrote for our last hackathon on mechanistic interpretability. And Google released a wild music generating language model, something that has made its rounds on Twitter and made a bunch of people fascinated about the music capabilities of large language models. And new work investigates the relationship between actually generalizing properly and how it relates to the famous double descent phenomenon. And this week we also have some amazing opportunities in AI safety. So first of all, Aut is looking for senior roles to create their illicit research software, which helps AI safety researchers make AI safer quicker. And there is a communications role open at the Fund for Alignment Research for some of the non-technical audience out there who might be interested in also working with AI safety. You can also refer a cool friend you might have to the Redwood Research Summer Internship happening this summer, or you can of course apply yourself. If your friend goes on to the next round in the hiring, you will actually receive a $2,000 bounty. So this is quite a good opportunity to send all of your cool friends to Redwood Research. Of course, you can also join our next hackathon this Friday and check out all of these links in the description, now or never. And thank you for joining for this week's ML and AI safety update. See you next week.